Well, when the pressure's off, then you become yourself. And I think that's one of the cool things about Connor. He's a guy that maybe not a lot of people are talking about now, but will be by the end of the year.
Hey, friends, welcome into TexAgs Rewind, presented by our friends at Specs, David Nuño, Nick Savage, and Luke Evangelist. Guys, every show is good here. Today's show felt like we kind of caught our stride. Am I wrong? Am I right? What do we think?
We definitely momentum building. Riley's texting me to lock in, so
I give Riley props. He's a really good intern.
Goat.
Yeah. He kind of sets the tone that others are trying to follow.
You know what my favorite thing is? He's like 2 buttons unbuttoned.
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, he does. He does do that.
He's got a little T-bob in him.
Yeah, he does. He does. That's all right. Carson's doing great, too. We got a crew. Anyway.
Hey, Luke's right there.
Oh, he's okay. Luke, apparently I gave you a dirty look during the show. I don't remember doing that.
I think people read into things way too much.
Yeah.
We're friends on and off air. We're friendly.
I mean, we support each other. Yeah,
we do. Professionally, friendshiply. We have a good relationship.
You know, I got your back.
I think people, what they don't see is just the stress and how serious this environment can be sometimes. And maybe it's hard to crack a smile. For me, I don't think so. But sometimes for some people who may not smile as much, that may be tough. And it turns into a dirty look.
You smile a lot. And I have RBF. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But outside of other people talking smack about A&M, I don't think I'm mean to the people I work with. Am I ever mean to you?
No.
I've never tried to fight you.
No.
I just want to play basketball against you.
Yes. Well, you were probably hoping that was going to turn into a fight just so you could go back and bring that up.
I don't want to get my credentials revoked. But if a brother wants to test me, we can find out. Anyway, it's about the show. What do we have? You guys want to go back and forth? No, Matt Moscona was really
Cousin
good.
Shane.
Cousin
SEC
Shane.
Mike. Ross
Dellenger.
Did you call him Rob or Ross?
I said Ross.
Oh, Ross.
I refer to him as Mr. Dellenger.
He was great. Also, he's kind of in the Pate category.
He was like, I saw him. I was like, oh, he's like yoked.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. So, hey, a lot of fitness here on the program. Check it out. It is what is it called? TexAgs Rewind. Check it.
A&M's an interesting test case, though, man. Just because there's expectation, because you pay Jimbo the buyout money, there's all the turnover, but the expectation is still there. And I think people are high on Elko, and you got a great quarterback. So I think there's a lot of schools in the SEC in that sort of that middle ground after your Georgia, Texas, maybe Bama, Ole Miss, like in that next tier. It'd be fascinating to see how that tier shapes out.
You know what's interesting about A&M is that there was some roster turnover, but not really. Like you lost a couple starters in Walter Nolan and Evan Stewart. That those absolutely hurt.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like Bryce Foster, your center, he wasn't producing, and I don't know if he was going to play on this year's team. A couple guys in the defensive backfield, I don't know if they were going to play this year. So, yeah, they lost guys. The Walter Nolan loss hurts, but you replace him with Nick Scorton, basically. I think it's a wash, even though different positions you add to your defensive line that was already really good. Nick Scorton's going to be the player. Wide receiver's going to hurt, but Evan Stewart, he put up the same numbers as Ja'Day Walker, and he wasn't always available for you. So, new system, new regime. They need help at wide receiver. That's where I worry about A&M.
Yeah. Blue chip ratio agrees with you.
Yeah.
I mean, A&M, I think those things are pretty fascinating when you look at, especially when you include transfer portal numbers in that as well. Do you ever watch or pay attention to blue chip ratio?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty fascinating what Bud Elliott's done with that. I mean, it's so simple, but it's also been 100% fail proof. So, if you have more 4 and 5 stars on your team than not, you have a chance to win a championship.
Michael, how many SEC teams have a legit chance, you think, for the playoffs? Like a legit conversation piece come middle of November?
Middle of November, obviously.
Or maybe early November.
But, I mean, I'm thinking 10.
10.
10 will be in the conversation. That'll get weeded out. By late November, it'll probably be down to 6. But I think there's 10, and I throw A&M in there.
Okay.
I throw LSU in there. Now, I honestly, I don't think A&M and LSU will make the playoff. But if things break right, they could. And that's kind of where I'm at with them. I'm right there with Tennessee, I think, is in that conversation. So there's a lot of teams that could emerge. Obviously, Georgia. Texas, I would throw into the first category I said, where if things break right, they can get there. But I don't think Texas makes the college football playoff. I really don't.
You don't, even with that schedule?
No. Because I think by the end of this, here's what they're looking at, and a lot of people are looking at late in the season. Florida. Oh, that's an easy win, right? I think Florida's going to be a breakout contender. At Arkansas, last time they went there, they got humbled. That's the biggest game on Arkansas' schedule.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not saying they will lose that, but that's back to back. And then Kentucky, if they hit on their quarterback, they're an 8-9 win program too. And then at A&M, they're not winning all 4 of those. I think best case for Texas, they're going 3-1 in those 4, and they're losing to Georgia, and I think they're losing to Oklahoma again. So that's where I get the 9-3.
And you didn't even mention, and I think they'll win this one because I've never
Michigan.
seen a team lose more from one year to the next. But they're going up to Michigan early in, what is it, week 2?
Week 2.
We're going up there to week 2. I know it's not going to
Can
be
you imagine
Michigan.
defending national champion, home game you get, and you're going to be no one's going to count you to win that game aside from diehard Michigan fans. That's a perfect scenario for that program.
Yeah. Jackson Arnold, Connor Wigman, Garrett Nussmeier. I think those 3 guys on those specific teams, tell me which of those 3 quarterbacks has the best year, and I'll show you a team that might be a dark horse playoff contender.
Yeah, well, and out
Not
of
that
those,
LSU would necessarily be a dark
well,
horse.
too, out of those 3, I mean, if you're going back to the locker room and you're picking from those 3 and the game's on the line, I want Connor because he's got more experience. Now,
Yep.
people don't want to talk. People forget. And I think that's what, it's what sucks about an early season injury is it's like people forgot about you, man. We've moved on. We're talking about Nico now and the next new toy that comes up, but it's awesome. The pressure's off.
Yeah.
There's no pressure for a first year coach down there at Texas, but that I think also kind of, what it's like. You got, we're going on fine ball, man. I couldn't sleep last night because I was just thinking about saying something stupid, I just
probably will.
I've done this interview 3 times in my head already. I didn't know exactly how it was going to go, but you get yourself worked up. But when the pressure's off, then you become yourself. And I think that's one of the cool things about Connor. He's a guy that maybe not a lot of people are talking about now, but will be by the end of the year.
My vibe here on Mike Elko and the Aggies so far, 2 day and a half in here, has been, I feel like the SEC media community and even other people I talk to that are maybe outside the media, more as far as in the league, I feel like their expectations for A&M might be a little higher than I'm hearing from our fan base. Not to say, but just I think they're looking at that ceiling as being maybe a little higher than a lot of the A&M fans do, who maybe are a little bit beaten down or maybe have lowered expectations in year 1 of a head coach. But I feel like around here it seems a little different.
Yeah, because you just pencil them in as a good team. It doesn't matter what the roster is, doesn't matter who the coach is. It's just when you hear Texas A&M, it's just that perceived notion that they're going to be toward the top of something.
If I said, you're just going to go cover a college football game, 3 of them, pick them.
Well, Texas and Texas A&M would be up there, right? Pretty high. That is one that everybody I think is looking forward to. I hope that game has playoff implications because it's probably the only way I can get there, right?
True.
But I really hope it has playoff implications for one team or the other. That would be great. That would be one of the 3. Texas hosts Georgia. Obviously, that's 2 of the probably favorites in the league, and not only that, but then like the next day in Austin, there's this F1 race.
Yeah, no, that's
a wild.
I've been there for that weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't go to F1, but I just happened to go down there that weekend with some people not thinking. Good luck. Good luck.
It is a wild city in general when none of that's going on, let alone a college football game and a F1 race. So those 2, and then what else? There's some really new, interesting matchups like LSU, Oklahoma to end the year. That's an interesting one. Florida, Oklahoma play at some point, and then you always got the Alabama returns to Tennessee right this year after the 2 years ago. What happened there? So all those games would be in the mix. Of course, my game, what I grew up on, is the old Egg Bowl. So which could have playoff implications for the first time in a while if Ole Miss rolls in there with 1 or 2 losses.
What do you think of the Jeff Lebby that hire by Mississippi State?
I think that State looks at Ole Miss, right? What they're doing with Lane, offensively, and they want they want something like that, right? They want somebody that's gonna fire up the fan base, be electric on offense, and I think that's where that hire drifted toward. But
Smiley, tell the people.
Like, comment.
Actually, hold on.
Okay.
Can you do it not smiling, like with an angry face?
Well, now that you said that, it's gonna be hard.
I know.
Like, comment, subscribe,
What's that voice?
share, and tell your friends.
Do it for Luke.
So I used to work with this girl at Channel 13. I'm not gonna say who it is. People will be able to figure out. She'd be at a funeral or like at a mass murder, right? And she'd be like, so and so, ABC 13. That's you. You got a little smiley in you.
It's hard not to laugh and smile.
Hey, we live a good life.
Yes, we do.
Thank you for watching.